Hey, you there. Thank you for watching, and welcome to Fortnite Forever. Today I have a 3v3 ladder match here on the most amazing Neuroxys map generator. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players. Starting off with Team 1 in the Northeast, also known as the Red Team. Ending with Team 2, also known as the Blue Team in the Southwest. Starting off with Team 1, I would say isolated, but definitely on his own. He is in the Southeast. He has Nova Space. He's playing as a Cybran in Ruby Red. He is a 2053 rated player, the highest rated player on Team 1 and in the game overall. To his northwest, we have in Chevy Crimson, it is Eco Player 7, and he is a 1555 rated, again playing as a UEF. And rounding out the lineup for Team 1, we have in Orange Color Orange, it is Baller playing as an Aeon. He's a 1661 rated, most likely the rig order slot for Team 1. Over Team 1 side of the map, they have a Cybran, a UEF, and an Aeon. No Seraphim Tech for Team 1. Starting off with Team 2's, again, not necessarily isolated, but kind of on his own. We have in Stitch Blue, it is Phantom Samurai. He's playing as an Aeon. He is a 1982 rated, the highest rated player on Team 2. To his southeast, we have in Royal Blue, it is Habas Tech. He is a Seraphim, the one and only Seraphim of the game at 1616 rating. And to his southwest, we have in Amethyst Purple, another Aeon for Team 2. It is RNA playing in Amethyst Purple as a 1731 rated. And most likely the rig out of air slot for Team 2 as well. So for Team 2 side of the map, they have two Aeons and the only Seraphim of the game. No Cybran Tech, no UEF Tech. Again, Team 1 only lacking the Seraphim Tech. And for these 6 players on the map, let's take a look at the reclaim situation. Currently sitting at 29,000 mass. Let's round it up to 30,000 to make that math easier in my head. That is 5,000 mass per player. A lot of mass on the map for players to scoop up, especially in a 3v3. There is a decent amount of that mass in the main bases for these players, especially for How and for Eco Player. There's another, 400s, 500s dotted around the map in the middle, and it's kind of devoid over here next to both Nova Space and for that's Phantom Samurai. So they're going to have to venture a little bit out of their main base, but after that they're going to be able to scoop up a decent amount of that mass. In terms of the mixes, the map isn't super dotted with mixes, but there is at least something to go after. We'll say this quad-ish mix will be for Team 2, and this will be for Team 1. And for Team 2, again, specifically, there's a quad mix here, another quad 5-star-ish mix there in the west, a twin mix in the northwest, a tri-mix, and then another twin mix in the southeast. So there are expansions to go after. There's not a terrible amount of them. Oh, and there's also a tri-mix in the middle here. But, there's also a 4-star mix back there. So there are expansions to go after. There's not that many more besides that. But, hey, at least it's better than nothing, right? Taking a look at where our players are headed off to in this game, it looks like it's going to be 1v1 in the northwest between Team 2's Phantom Samurai and Team 1's Eco Player. And then on the eastern side, we have Team 1's Baller and Nova Space. So far going after just How Bass Tech at the beginning, but I would not be surprised to see RNA move in probably to the east to assist and make that a 2v2. He could go to the north and make it a 2v1 and kind of shift things in favor of Team 2 in the west, and Team 1 would have a little bit easier time in the east, kind of this little yin-yang symbol kind of going on. But we'll see where they end up going in this game. We do see that Team 1's frontline units of Eco Player having some skirmishes with a couple of units from Phantom Samurai. Nothing too crazy. We do see Gun is now started on board Eco Player in that western side. Again, it is a 1v1 so far, so having that gun upgrade online sooner rather than later means not necessarily he'll win the fight outright, but it definitely will help nonetheless. And we haven't seen any movement from RNA yet, so the longer that goes on, the more in favor it will be for Team 1 on the eastern side at a minimum. We do see movement orders going towards the middle a little bit. A couple of Team 1 Mantis inbound from Nova Space going after a couple of mexes. They've already eliminated one. There are some Aurora catching up to them. They do wipe out those 2 Mantis, but Team 2 did lose a T1 mix. Nothing too crazy to lose, but at a minimum, it is a max nonetheless. It is 2 mass a second. Gun speed almost done for Phantom. He will beat out his opponent for the damage and range upgrade, or at least the set of upgrades, but, you know, that's just the difference between Aeon and everybody else's. The gun upgrade for everybody else is 1, and the Aeons are a set of 2. Range starter also for Baller. He's probably going to go for speed. Advanced range starter now on Phantom Samurai, so he's going for full Aeon Sniper Commander. So that advantage from Team 1's Eco player immediately just stripped away. Speed now started on Baller's comma in the east. And those units are about to crash on top of one another. I don't know if he knows the upgrades have been started or not. He doesn't even know the comm is there. So it's going to be a little bit of a surprise when he shows up. And of course, when I click on him, it makes the text for the message of the upgrade go away, which is unfortunate, but that's just kind of how it is. RNA still holding position in the back, not doing much as of yet in terms with this comm directly. T2 air is done. He should be going for T3 air shortly. Team 1 T2 air is done. Maybe he's going to go for T3. But the advanced range is most likely going to finish. Ecoplay will be outranged here shortly, and that'll put the advantage squarely on Team 2's side. And we do see that Hao is actually falling back. He's not engaging Team 1's forces. Probably a little bit smart due to the fact there are 2 of them there. Nova Space doesn't have a gun on board as of yet, and then I just had to say something, and then something would happen. Gun has been started for Team 1's Nova Space, so there is that. There's the advanced range commander. Combi-com action has occurred between Eco player of Team 1 and Phantom of Team 2, and Eco player might just be taking the fight here. Again, Team 2 is working at a advantage with that advanced range upgrade on board, and that might be enough to allow Team 2 to try to break this position. There's a lot of Team 1 spam inbound from Eco player, so he's not on his own. But again, it's just one of those scenarios where does he take the fight or not? Because he could die because of that advanced range. Western side, just a small group of forces over here just hanging out, you know. They just want to have fun over there, but there are inbound Aurora from Team 2's Phantom, so that will squash that force quite quickly. Gun over 50% here for Nova Space in the east. And combi-com action reoccurs between Eco and Phantom. And it looks like Eco player trying to get a little bit of efficiency, get up to 1 star. Phantom terribly behind him in that regard. Not looking good for Eco player here at this point. 9 minutes, we could see the departure. Tons of Auroras raining down shots on Eco player's comm. Eco player down into the red. Definitely needs some of that efficiency. 527 out of 1,000, but I don't think he's going to get out of there. First comm kill of the game will go to Team 2's Phantom Samurai at almost 10 minutes on the dot. Again, he is at about 3,000 hit points remaining, so also in a weakened state due to the attack and the, of course, AoE from the comm. We do see Baller moving in with just a speed and range upgrade, no advanced range on board his comm, so Team 2 will still have that advantage in that regard. But of course, maybe he'll get some easy veterancy, but it is going to take a minute to get to 1,000 mass kills, especially when Team 2's Phantom Samurai is almost at 2 stars already. Stealth start on the eastern side for Nova Space, and is now a 3v2 in favor of the blue team, or Team 2, at, again, like I said, almost 10 minutes on the clock is when that kill occurred. It is unfortunate, but again, when you're facing an advanced range with a lot of units, there's only so much you can do. We do see bleeding going down here in the north here for Team 1 from Team 2. But there are a couple of pillars hanging out and Riptide, so it's not like they're completely defenseless. Are they just pillars? Why do they have the same symbol? Do they have the same symbol? Looks like they have the same symbol. Oh, yeah, they have the same symbol. What's up with that? I just noticed that both the Riptides and the pillars share the same symbol. Huh. Didn't know that. Anyway, stealth almost done for Nova Space in the east. Couple of forces stacking up. T1 Zui and T2 Ilshi's moving in to wipe them all out, so that's not going to be there much longer on that little, I don't even know what you would call that, dead end over there on that eastern side. Looks like T2 gunship inbound to deal with the remaining forces from Phantom Samurai. And it looks like, yep, they've dealt with the last tank, and there's just a couple of flares left, some labs just kind of hanging out. Team 2 has gained a little bit of an advantage on the western side with the death of Team 1's Eco player, at least in terms of momentum. And now we're seeing that kind of yin-yang sort of kind of start to appear. But it is starting to favor Team 2 in general. Eco situation is also reflective of that. About 30 or so, 25 or so ahead for Team 2 at 12-ish minutes. We do see Team 1's Nova Space now on the front lines, all on his lonesome, but he does have nice little overcharges dealing with Ilshis. Hasn't gone for Nano yet, but does have Stealth and Gun, and is now at first star effectively, not 4. That'd be insane. Team 1 Bombers inbound, going for jumping. Looks like they're going for that Team 1 PD emplacement. Opening the doors a little bit for those forces from Team 2 to engage. ASF online for Team 2, and Combi-Com action also occurs between Baller and Phantom. Phantom really pushing this front side of the left with his comm. He has to be careful because overextending could kill him off. But again, he could get another kill here, dropping it to a 3v1. And at that point, I mean, you would take the murder-suicide situation and dropping it to a 2v1 at that point if he could. We do see how Bostek new upgrades on board him. We have a couple of units running around for him specifically of those Ilshis. Another overcharge wipes out that Ilshi very, very quickly. Another one, gets blocked by a TE1 unit. Saves that Ilshi's behind. But units now running through the base here that once belonged to Eco Player. We have a couple of T3 Titans online, and that should be more than enough to deal with the T1 spam. But there are a couple of Obsidians in there. Lovely to see those units be deployed. And that is the end of that attack, at least that first one. We do have a lot of Swift Winds inbound. T3 Air is also online, going for more facilities as we speak to spam out more ASFs and the whatnot. Gun started for how Bastec. He's not completely exposed. He's hiding behind a little bit of a cliffside. You can see that you actually can see him. He's just peering over the edge like that. And that gun will finish before anything from Team 1 comes into range, so he'll be fine there for now. And there's just going to be a little bit of just raiding going on here for Team 2 on this eastern side. We have small groups of units kind of dotted around, just being really, really annoying. APM will be a huge, huge factor. I mean, in a 3v3 game like this, losing a player is theoretically 33% of your APM. That's a huge percentage rather than, in a 6v6 where it's 16 and a little bit percentage. It's cut in half, but it does make a difference, especially in ladder, and especially it being that early. It does give somebody another base, though. That is something to consider, but if you can push in and wipe out a decent amount of the gained eco for that player, specifically in this case for Baller, getting it from eco player, it doesn't really matter at that point. And we can see that Team 2 is now pulling away in the eco, almost 400 mass income versus Team 1's almost 300, so over 100 mass in favor for Team 2. It is a lot to be ahead at 15.5 minutes. ARAS started for RNA. We have a spy plane being shot at by a restorer. He's just trying to hang out and get some vision for his players on Team 1. We do see those Titans starting to push in a little bit, which will deal with a lot of the spam, Aurora, and whatnot from Team 2. This force probably could overwhelm the Titans, maybe. But a lot of them would die in the process, so I don't know if Team 2's Phantom wants to take the fight. ASFs pushing out the ASFs from Team 1, guarding the restorers that are just helping to assist. We do see how Bastec got the gun and went, I'm just going to go home now. And we have a nice little brick running around in the middle of the map here for Team 1's Nova Space. Again, just one brick being sent to be annoying. There's a couple more bricks inbound from the water. We haven't seen a lot of action via the water yet. Then we have wall sections being built to try to wall off any sort of advancements from Team 1 from the water, or at least in any direction pretty much from the north. They don't want any hook maneuvers, any sort of strategic planning or whatnot going down for Team 1. Gunship, going to go after, nope, it's going to wipe out an engineer. Ilshi's still stacking up for Team 1 on the eastern side. We have Nova Space at 3-star, almost at 4 stars. No Nano yet. I feel like that's definitely a missed opportunity there. Brick having a disagreement with that cliffside. And the brick over here being chased down by restorers. Grabs that T2 mix as it dies. ASF fight will occur over Team 2 side of the map. And the restorers are now going to be gunned down by the ASF from Team 1's baller, and there they all go. Again, they have really good AA weapons on board, but they're not all powerful, and that is an indication of that. There also were still a couple of Swift Winds dotted around in that ASF lineup. We do see the entire land force for Team 2's Phantom falls back. The Titans are inbound. And it looks like Phantom wants to stack up his forces instead of engaging. That is something that you notice a lot with higher rated players, is that if they know they can't win the fight, they don't even try to engage. They just go, nope, I'm going to save you for later, and pulls them all back. I'd say most of them, not all of them all the time. Maybe he has a retreating force or something just to delay, in this case, Team 1's advancement. But a lot of their forces pull back, they regroup, they don't take the fight, they know they can't win, and then maybe later, maybe when they get a Colossus or whatever other experimental or more T3 units, then they'll maybe take the fight with everything all at once. Everything, everywhere, all at once. Couple of Othams running amok here around, let's see, this How Best Tech's base. Another T2 mech. Is that Same T2 mech that died earlier? Well, that was a Team 1 mech. Now it's a T2 mech. Actually, that T2 mech might survive. Now look at that. It does survive. I was going to say it might not survive, and I was going to jinx it, but I was going to wait a second, and looks like that waiting a second maybe saved a couple of bricks. Now hemming in a bunch of the forces. There might be a wall preventing these forces, an invisible wall, from getting around it. It looks like they can just walk around. So you would think they would engage, but now we just have just a firing squad here for Nova Space. He's going to get some veterans heat from this as well. A lot of these units are weakened already. Nova Space still not really firing, which is very weird. There he goes. Now he's firing. He walked pretty much right into the line of fire from Team 2's units. And he's almost at 4 stars. Oh, he's just very, very close to 4 stars. Look at that. Brick's still running amok on the western side. T3 mechs is now being targeted. And now we have a little bit of friendly fire from RNA's own bombers going after those bricks. You can see the bombers actually destroying the mass storages there. Again, that's also weakening the eco for Team 2. And they also killed off the mechs. Oh, so even in death, the brick still serves. He kills off 3 of those mechs, is assisted heavily actually by the T1 bombers from RNA. But again, in RNA's opinion, it's probably like, well, I could either do that and maybe kill off my own mechs, but confirm the kill on the brick, or let the brick kill off all my stuff. So technically he saves the T3 mechs, but he did kind of help with his own destruction. That, you know, it's just a not a coincidence. It's just a not a disadvantage. Just a, I was going to say perk of the job, but that's not the word I'm looking for. I'll think of it at some point. T3 coming online here for RNA. Speaking of which, on his comm, he has ARAS on board. Team 2 starting to lose their lead just a little bit. 560 to 500. We have in the east now T3 units engaging one another en masse. Lots of bricks for Team 1. I would like to see a couple of Loyalists dotted in there for Nova Space just to redirect missiles. Would love to see that. Again, they don't have to be that many in the mix, but just, you know, every 10 or so bricks, build like maybe 1 or 2 Loyalists just to get a little bit of redirect on board. Tons of laser weapon T2 PD defenses coming online here for Habastek. He's just going to line them up and call them a day. Don't like that they're in a line like this. You would want them in a line more like this to engage more of the forces instead of just, you know, one after the other. But, you know, when you're just dragging a line on the map, you sometimes just don't think about that. But, you know, you're just getting something online at a minimum. He's probably just drew a line, I'm going to do something later, and then maybe come back to it and change it. ASF's getting rid of all of the air scouts. Team 1 doesn't want Team 2 to know what Team 1 is up to. And they will. It looks like it's just more air expansionary efforts for Team 1's regular air slot players. Same thing for Team 2's RNA. And looks like, oh, it looks like a chicken for a second. It is not. No experimentals have made an appearance as of yet. As I say something, a Colossus has been started by Phantom Samurai in the west. And nothing out of Team 1's bases yet. Just T3 land forces being spammed up. Percy's, and I would assume maybe some spearheads maybe. I don't see them yet. Just getting those units nice and stacked. Now we see Nano Repair started for Team 1's Eastern player of Nova, making sure that he is fully regened up, which he currently is, to be fair, but he just wants to make sure that he can regen. Very, very... Oh, here come those bombers. Those 70 some odd, 80 some odd bombers, and the bricks are like, oh no, this is revenge from earlier. They spread out, which I love the attack order by Team 2's RNA. He does maximum damage in a nice little spread there. ASFs will actually engage, and it looks like Team 2 is going to win that fight. There is a couple of mobile AA units, the lightning tanks from Halbash Tech to assist, and there's all of the ASFs dead. Team 2 wins the air fight. Again, no air dominance or any sort of huge amount of air in favor for Team 2, but about 30 or so ASFs. It's definitely air control so far for Team 2, but again, not by a huge amount. And just as pointed out by Team 2's little text message there, it is a Megalith coming online. We have units in the north from Team 2's Phantom Samurai pushing in on Percy's of all units. Again, Percy's the best units in terms of T3, T4 engagements because they do tons and tons of damage per shot. Look at this, just ripping everything to shreds. They've lost some of their own forces, but look at how many Harbingers, all the Obsidians. We even have Baller in the mix. He probably should go for advanced range or shield or something to assist with protecting his commander. Titans mixed in there as well, but this entire T3, T2 force from Team 2 is going to get wiped out, and it's going to be a little bit of a reclamation day for Team 1. We do see engineers already on the scene here, going to try to reclaim as much as possible before Team 1 shows up, so we'll probably see that from RNA, but not RNA, sorry, Phantom. But look at that entire force dealt with. One T2 mech is lost in that engagement. Look at all the mass that Team 1 has to scoop up. I think I might be able to get a better count. 30,000, 20, let's say 20,000. So, that's about an experimental. Speaking of which, Nova Space skips the monkey face, goes straight for that Mega. And, of course, that Mega's going to move in and engage immediately. And the attack from Team 2. Not going to have a sequel as of yet. It does look like the Harbingers are pushing in to maybe try to reclaim. They have the ability to reclaim on board those units. So, really, really nice little unique ability for them. Unfortunately, Team 1 is going to secure the reclamation field, reclaim field, whatever word you want to use for it. And that's going to be a little bit in favor for Team 1 there. ASFs, again, still not stacking up quite nicely just because Team 2 has the advantage, and they continue to have it until Team 1 has sort of, a way to outproduce or blow them up or something. They all magically can control. Okay, that's what Team 1 would like, but that's not going to happen anytime soon, at least. Megalith now using its range advantage to just slowly whittle away all of the optims, and it grabs a sniper bot as well. Nice grab there. Deals with those long-range units quite nicely. Team 2, well, there's a couple of bombers, a couple of gunships slowly stacking up here. Of course, they know their target. They're going to go after Mega here shortly. In the north, not Megas, but Percy's and Harbingers engage once again. But again, like I said, just look at all of the damage being done quickly by those Percy's, just lapping away all resistance from Team 2. Again, there is the disadvantage where they do a lot of, not over damage, but, oh shoot. What's that word again? Why do I keep forgetting? I keep forgetting words. English just goes right out the door when I cast games. I don't know what it is, but like the ability for me to speak English just diminishes whenever, not overcharge, but overkill. They way overkill units a lot of times just because they do so much damage. Missiles inbound from the west. Going after, looks like a T2 mix right there. Another one inbound. Team 2 still in the lead, now about 150, 200 mass in favor. The Megalith continue to push, and now the remaining ground forces for Team 1 are wiped out. There's not that much remaining. Couple of sniper bots retreating, a couple of missile launchers also retreating. There's really not that much left. There's one Zooey there. It's going to not have a good day here. We also see a huge stack of bombers inbound. We do see a lot of flak behind the Mega, so they're not completely vulnerable to air units. And Team 1 might be, yep, we see some bouncers as well pushing in just to assist with that. We do see that the missile base has been denied, but 1, 2, almost 3. Mexes were wiped out. We have a little bit of some separation going down here for Nova Space in the south. He's pushing units northward, going after this base. And he's pushing in, of course, directly with his megalith. There is a Ythotha trying to come online. It's still in the yellow. It's still a little ways out. And I don't think that's going to finish. Is there another experimental? We saw a Colossus being built. I don't know where it went. Maybe it went north. I don't... Oh, no, there it is right there. And it is inbound for that little group of force from Team 1. So they'll have a little bit of early warning for that Megalith, the Colossus inbound. The Megalith is targeting the Ythotha that was started. Lots of flak dealing with a ton of bombers. Look at those bombers just being eradicated by the 1s and by the 10s and by the whatnot. They are targeting the AA now. Restore is pushing back the bouncers and all the other T2, T1, T3, whatever the AA units. And the Mega decides, oh, I killed off the chicken that was being built. I'm just going to go home now. He is going to take a lot of damage on his way home. But he may make it, though. He is sitting at 2-star vet, so additional 20% hit points, which makes it out to an additional 22,000 hit points. It's a lot of hit points to get. 10% each for 110, but 11,000? A lot. A lot of extra hit points. He's about 50% now. We have more AA inbound. Bombers slowly whittling away all of those hit points. And now the bouncers and the bangers, the bouncers, and what the Team 1s are called, are now more than enough to at least shoo away the restores for now. Colossus is going to engage that Mega. The Mega is going to sit there. 60,000 hit points remain versus the soon-to-be essentially 75,000, 70,000 before it engages that Mega. But it's actually going to turn around. It is actually going to benefit, and that's because Team 2 has a second Colossus inbound. Essentially, this one is the distraction, but this one's the true fighter here, and that is going to be a win for Team 2, unless Team 1 has another Mega that is, well, it's done, but it won't get there in time to save its brother. So that will be a little bit of mass for maybe Team 2 to scoop up if they can secure the reclaim field, but most likely Team 1. There goes the Mega. It is killed off by that Colossus and assisting Autumn forces. We have tons of AA being built to try to secure the area, try to make sure that Team 2 gets the reclaim, or Team 1 gets the reclaim. Tons of Team 1 spam started to come online. Maybe that's actually T3 spam. Oh, these are T3, these are T1. Tons of T1 stuff going to come online. And actually, those factories, those Team 1s and the T3s, but mainly the Team 1s, act as bullet sponges and cannon fodder, but they're stationary. You see the Colossus transferred over to Halbastex's control. And that Colossus might continue to push in. Tickle cannons are now online. And that might be enough to drive that Colossus home. Looks like that is going to be it. The Megalith is going to push in. And again, Team 2 wants to reclaim. Team 1 wants it. Of course, everybody wants reclaim because it's more mass. Team 2, 1.2k versus 850. 32 minutes on the clock. Team 1 has lost the only player of the game, being Eco Player. I think it was before 20 minutes. And it's been a 3v2 for essentially most of the game now. Team 2, again, 1.2k versus 850 or so. So at least 300 mass in favor for Team 2. Map control, I'd say about 50-50, maybe 51 in favor for Team 1 at the moment, but not by a huge margin. Let me know down in the comments who you think is going to currently win this game. Of course, if you haven't done so already, because why not at this point, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I really, 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 really do appreciate it. When number go up, it makes me happy. When number go down, obviously it makes me sad, but hey, number usually goes up, so you know, I'm happy, the channel's happy, YouTube's happy, all that sort of thing. We do see the Mega and Colossus are engaging. The Colossus gets a little bit more hit points from its veterancy. That might help keep it alive a little bit longer, but oh no, it's turning, oh no. Ooh, it's going to be close. No, the Megalith is slowly walking back. Colossus trying to keep up with it. Oh, it's going to be a close fight. 20,000, but it looks like the Mega is going to be defeated in one way or the other. There goes the second Mega, is down for Team 1. But there are some PD emplacements nearby, so that might be enough to at least protect that wreck. This one will most likely be scooped up by Team 2 at this point. But there is another Mega inbound, and there is the suits there, so Team 1 is definitely aware of the environment. They can actually see a huge chunk of the map. This is the wow, that's actually a lot bigger than I thought. And this is how much of an impact that Soothsayer has on a map this size. About, I'd say, at least a third of it. Just constant vision. There's no Omni on board, but hey, that's vision, so it's really nice nonetheless. Colossus will be driven away, tickled to almost death, and a brick firing and Optim on the ground. Like, hey, get back here. Optim almost dies to that brick being carried by that Colossus. We have 2 Colossi to the north, and we have a Colossus as well engaging where that wall section was being built. Ooh, it's going to force the hand of Team 1's other units to engage. And here come the Percys. Yep, they have to engage at this point. They're not coming in all together, which is not great for Team 1. Another experimental online for Baller. It is another GC. He has a Fat Boy coming online. That's another air grid. I thought it was something bigger. It is not. Colossus will most likely die here. We have T2 gunships inbound just to assist. It looks like we have some Redeemers to help with the AA. This Colossus is severely weakened already from probably in a different fight that happened. This one is not looking too hot either, but I think this might be enough firepower for Team 1 to wipe out both of the Colossi if they focus on the weaker of the 2 first, which it looks like they're trying to, but this one's standing in front of some of those shots at least. 15,000. Oh, now it's down to 10,000. It might be enough for Team 2 to guard that dead, or that almost dead Colossus. Oh, no. Yeah, look at that. Barely enough to survive. Team 2 is going to win a decent amount of reclaim from that. In the east, another Colossus is there. It's just one Colossus is killed off, a Megalith is then killed off, another Colossus is killed off. There's a huge back and forth. Team 2 getting tons of shields online, getting artillery online, getting engineers online to scoop reclaim. Currently, the reclaim factors do favor Team 2, 127 to a little under 100,000. And now we have the Mega backing up into PD fire to assist with dealing with the Colossus. And that Colossus is taking a lot of damage. It's going to essentially fall on top of that dead Megalith wreck, and I don't know if that Colossus will even get out of there in time. Even if it turns around, it won't turn around at this point. It's going to just do as much damage to that Megalith as possible. There's the dead Colossus. Team 1 will start its reclaim efforts and pushing back Team 2's T2 and T3 artillery spam that has been started to try to slowly push back Team 1's front line. We even see some down here as well from Halbastek to just assist with pushing back. Colossus pushing in from Team 1's Baller's position. And it looks like it was the reclaim field was the goal. Getting some engineers online, and actually some T2 artillery online, but Colossus is having none of that and pushes back both of them. That fight will favor Team 1. It doesn't matter. The hit points are just so low on both of them, it won't matter. Restorers inbound, dealing with the bricks. And of course, there has been a little bit of AA spam here to the north in terms of, looks like some T2 and T3. Megalith is going to be pushed back. It's a huge reclaim field starting to form. ASF, great engagement here from Team 1. They're going to isolate the Restorers just for a brief moment, wipe actually a decent chunk of them out as they just fly over top some AA and try to get out of range. So I'd say not a huge thing for Team 1 or Team 2, but the Restorers being killed off and driven back, that being the main point, is the focus. Nuke is online and loaded. Please fire, please fire, please fire, please fire. Dang it. Okay, I have to go away. Watch. I'll give it 20 seconds, and then I'll go back and see if it fires. Colossus still pushing on the western side, and there's now a third one online, and now that will be, of course, more than enough to kill off that Colossus for Team 1. Even if they lose one or even two of the weaker ones, the fact that that Colossus wreck is in their front, it's in the front door, it's sitting there on the walk-in or the mudroom if you have a mudroom. He's just going to hang out there. But there is a Fat Boy there as well, so it's not completely alone. If that Fat Boy pushes in, again, it's the same story. It's not a good time for either of those units. Another Megalith is down. That's the old one. The new one comes to replace it. And Team 1 has slowly pushed back the T2 artillery and PD lines. And now there's a chicken online for Team 2's Seraphim player of Halbastek. using the, of course, not unique unit, but at least the unit that Team 2 can't build. Team 2 can't build the monkey or the grab as well, but Seraphim's the only tech that Team 2 is unique with. Team 1, of course, is the Cybran tech and the Aeon tech as well. And looks like another Colossus engagement to the north. The Fat Boy is eliminated, did not fall back in time. Ooh, it might not even grab that Colossus. Nuke is outbound from Team 2, and it's going for the front line. So it's either going to kill the Megalith off, or it's going to kill off a lot of defenses, or both. Actually, it will kill the defenses off at a minimum. But another dead Colossus, another dead wreck, another body to add to the pile. Donut has been started for Team 1's Baller. I don't know about that, but kaboom! It doesn't grab the Megalith, the monkey, and the chicken trade. And there's another Ythotha almost done as well. This is a delaying tactic at this point for Team 2's Eastern Front. They kind of see the momentum favor Team 1. There's not a lot of aggressive AA being built, but again, the reclaim is the focus. We have actually bombers focusing not the experimental, but focusing the engineers, trying to deny the income. And Team 1's caught up a little bit in the reclaim department, but in terms of mass, still not even breaking 1,000 income per second. Team 1 is not looking good in terms of the eco this game. Phantom builds another experimental. It's going to be another Colossus. That's number 4 online. And T3 Battleship in the pond. We have big boat, small pond tactics, TMD, AA, lovely placements there. Actually, torpedo launchers as well. So a good mix of defenses there. And now, ooh, the Soothsayer is going to be the target. That's going to be unfortunate. Team 1's going to lose a lot of vision. Airfight happens not over the top of AA, because there's a tiny bit in there. But it's mainly the tons and tons of missiles raining in from those restorers. Megalith is still pushing. It's engaging that Ythotha. The Megalith is severely damaged. It will die here. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. The ASF come in at the last moment. They don't save the Colossus, of course. The Megalith, of course. They wipe out most of the gunships at a minimum. So again, something is better than nothing. Northern side not looking good. They could easily push in these 3 Colossi, even though this one is severely, these 2 are actually severely weakened. This one is not. They're getting the reclaim field, making sure they grab that first. And then they'll probably just throw it at Team 1. Team 1 has essentially nothing. There's a Fat Boy almost done. That's not going to stop 3 Colossi, though, even if they add the 4th one in, which the 4th one is going southward, actually, just to assist with that line. And bombers still raining in. They're targeting all of the engineers, trying to slow down either the reclaim expansion or the line expansion in terms of the front line being built, rebuilt, and pushed and all that. And that Ythotha's going to give that Megalith a nice little hug, or at least try to give it a hug. That Megalith needs to back up immediately. Ion Storm is definitely in range. And there it goes. It's going to kill off a brick. Actually, that might be the only thing it kills off. Helps actually take out the shield capacity for that. Well, shield. Mobile shield. Couple of, torrents in the water. And they're raining. Ooh, not looking good for Team 1. They have this now big annoyance in the middle of the map here. Long range units on the map. That is not a happy time here for Team 1. Big boat, small pond. Big boat, small pond. Actually, there's 2 big boats, actually. This one's, again, skinnier. The torrent is skinnier. But hey, tons of missiles now raining in. It looks like it's just going to be torrent spam for a while now. And that's going to really eat away. Team 1's mix is going down here. More Team D is going to be built, but it's going to get overwhelmed. Even though there's buzz kills and all zappers and whatnot. Ooh, we have a Megalith. Look at this. Now we have a Megalith on the little cliffside here being like, go away. No, go away. Go away with your big boat, small pond nonsense. Go away. Another nuke is outbound from Team 2. I would assume we'll go take a look at that in a second. Yeah, it's just funny to me. Look at it. Just looks so it's funny. I don't know why that's funny to me, but it is. As the missiles rain in. Where is the nuke? Where is? Oh, nice placement there. It's gonna kill off a lot of the reclaim as well. There goes the Megalith. Kaboom! It does slow down a lot of that momentum for Team 1, actually pushes it back, and a huge chunk of the reclaim is gone. And Team 2's mind, it's either they get it or nobody gets it, and nobody gets it for Team 1 or Team 2. But, you know, there is that. In terms of the nuke killing off mass, 35,000 mass killed. Not great for average, you know, amount of mass killed per nuke in terms of like 17 or 18,000. It's not great, but they did deny a lot of mass and whatnot. They did kill a megalith, so they're, you know, just because you don't kill off a lot of mass per nuke doesn't mean the nukes aren't valuable. We do see a donut. We'll see if that's useful for Team 1, because I feel like lately all of the air experimentals I've casted have just not been great. Restorers are going to engage. ASFs who are guarding it, moving in. Nuke is outbound again from Team 2. A second nuke launch. I didn't even notice that. That is going to be another nuke launch. It's going eastward. There's 3 nukes been launched at this position. The SMD is down. The donut not looking too hot. The ASF's pushing in to guard it. Oh, it's going straight in for Nova Space. Oh, it sails overhead. It's going for its main base, actually. Another nuke outbound. Another one from Team 2's RNA. There goes the nuke. Kaboom! Wipes out the main base for Nova Space. The eco for Team 1 has not been great comparatively to Team 2, and it is not doing well. Hover tech units are inbound, and they are fed up with the big boat, small pond nonsense. We have all of those GCs pulled back to intercept this, and most of the torrents have been wiped out. Here comes another nuke. Kaboom! Wipes out another mega, clears the way for Team 2's units. They do lose a Colossus on the way, but hey, they do clear the way, and Nova Space has been severely damaged. Not his comm himself, but all of his everything, the front line and his back line. The only thing left really intact is Baller. No SMD over here. That's probably going to change here shortly. SMD, of course, is here. Sitting next to a P-Gen. At least it's getting adjacency, which is good, but going to very easily be blown up. 46 minutes on the clock. The match has kind of been favoring Team 2, at least in terms of the eco, for a while now. And with 2 nukes online and just constantly loading the thing, not great. And Team 1's Nova Space control Ks and just says, I'm done. Essentially wiped out. Just going to be done with it. So it's now a 3v1 in favor for Team 2 at 46.50. Baller maybe go for game ender, maybe go for something. I don't know. We have Donut. Is it shield back? And the shield is not. Is it back online? It is back online. I think it's being hit by the AA underneath it and whatnot. It's hard to tell sometimes when it's not fully regen, because it will still take hull plating if it's not fully regen in terms of the shield, but it did get that at one point. And the front line looks like it's being pushed back a little bit, but again, it's been a delaying tactic this entire time. It's not meant to be there long term or actually succeed. Well, this is the main goal. Oh, do not. Okay. Okay, I see you. I see you, RNA. Can't. The world is not enough. He needs more of it. With a 3v1, 2 nukes, tons of eco. Why not? Why the heck not? And we have Fat Boy pushing in. Not even pushing in, falling back. Second Fat Boy about to come online. And it's not really enough that Team 1 has remaining. The T3 Naval Headquarters has been wiped out, but like I said, this wasn't meant to succeed long term. This wasn't meant to succeed long term. It essentially was, how long can we make it last to help support what's going on in the back line? Anything in this base? No. And the push is inbound. Fat Boy comes online. It will be immediately killed off. Ravagers will try to protect the first Fat Boy, at least the one that was still alive before the construction of the new one. GC, that one's gone. That one's the next target. This one's almost dead. Might as well target that one. Fat Boy's still retreating. There's that wreck. Oh, the donut dies. Kills off that GC. There's 2 more remaining. Team 1 does have air control, so that is something going for them at this point. I think they have air. No, maybe. There is a stack of ASFs back there. But, of course, that Paragon has been started. GC, engaging GC. Target the weak one first, then target the other one. That GC will fall back. We have ASF. Actually, we have tons of spy planes, not even ASFs here. I'm just getting a readout what Team 1's up to. Essentially, another GC is done. Team 1's been on the defensive for a very long time. Essentially, once they lost Eco Player, they've been on the defensive. Tried to be on the offensive on the south side, just could not break through. In terms of the reclaim, Team 2 now at 350K versus Team 1's 200,000. So, again, about a 2-to-1 advantage almost. Team 2 now at about 2.5 advantage in terms of eco. Oh, explosion. Wait, oh, SACU blows up. Teleportation. Oh, there they go. Team 1 PD spam trying to go after Baller. Overcharge kills off tons of those hit points. Oh, they're going to go after the SMD. That's unfortunate. Yep, there it goes. Is there a nuke loaded? I would assume there is. Yes, there is. And yes, there is. There are 2 nukes inbound. Here comes the nuke. And Team 1 actually just says no and gets over with it. You can see no teleportation was needed. He just control K's. It was very quick, but he had full HP, so there's no way he was wiped out that quickly. That is a control K from Team 1. That is a win. They could not even build the Paragon in time just because there was not enough time. And the nuke was about to fire as well, so it would have been game over at that point. You can see the nuke going right for the air grid. And Baller knew it. That's why he control K'd and got out of there. But thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. It was a good game nonetheless, but it, again, kind of favored Team 2 for pretty much the entire game. So not a huge surprise in who won the game, but, you know, sometimes those games happen. So that's just kind of the way it is. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you haven't done so already, because, again, why not at this point? Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, and I will see all of you in the next one.